Lots of startling comments from President Trump yesterday. He called himself a king as he moved to take on this traffic issue here in New York.
Yeah, the president and his administration are trying to stop New York City's congestion pricing, which does raise tolls to $9 for those who are trying to enter Manhattan. So the Department of Transportation says this needs to end. Then the president posting on social media that congestion pricing is dead, likening himself to a king, posting "Long live the king." The White House then posting this illustration resembling a Time magazine cover with the president actually wearing a crown. Well, that prompted a response from New York Governor Kathy Hochul, who said that we are a nation governed on laws, not by a king, saying "see you in court, George."
And Rich, we should also point out that both traffic and traffic accidents have gone down since this pricing plan was put into effect. Thanks very much.
My Christian brothers and sisters are familiar with the biblical story of Daniel in chapter 1, verse 3, wherein the king Nebuchadnezzar basically ordered his disciples or his guards or guardians to make these followers that's in his midst his slaves. But he wanted a particular type of slave, a particular type of prisoner. He wanted a inmate. And the Bible teaches us that these inmates should be royal and of noble descent. They were to be youths without any defect of good appearance, endowed with wisdom, knowledge, and discernment, and capable of serving in the king's palace. He was to teach them the writing and the language of the Chaldeans. Furthermore, the king assigned to them a daily ration from the king's delicacies, and from the wine he drank, they were to be trained for 3 years, and at the end of that time, they were to enter the king's service. Now, this is the biblical story, but it parallels the real-life true story of the FOI, the supreme angels struggling in the belly of the beast for peace, truth, freedom, justice, and equality. Shout out to my beloved brother, Joshua Sadia Law, and all the mighty, mighty FOIs from Holmesburg, such as brother Supreme Captain Calvin, and all the other mighty, mighty warriors that's still stuck in the belly of the beast. Salute to those that physically died, like my celly brother Salim, Eugene X. McGrew, and all the other ones, brother Anthony, brother Shaheed, Anthony X. Walker, that physically died, and those that suffered hellfire right here on the face of the planet Earth, trying to teach the life-giving teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. The king gave to Daniel the name Belshazzar. What he did was these disciples of God were given slave names. They were taught that they had to eat the dainty foods of the king and drink the king's wine. And he wanted them to serve in his royal court. In the belly of the beast, one of the things that the warden, they no longer have wardens, and this is back in like 1983 to 1985. They don't have wardens no more. The wardens are now known as superintendents. The inmates were what we call prisoners of war, POWs, comrades. They never considered themselves inmates. It's like a house slave and a field slave. So in these circumstances, these brothers in the struggle were in a situation where the king or the warden had certain food. Now, in How to Eat to Live, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that when he was in prison, him and his followers, the FOIs, had it real hard. He said it was so bad regarding the food that he had to get with the warden, and he told the warden, we don't hardly had nothing to eat. Everything got pork in it, or the essence of pork in it, like lard. He said, the only thing we get to eat is some bread. The messenger said the warden laughed at him and told him the bread got pork in it too. The messenger said they used to have it so hard, sometimes they had to make a meal out of nothing but potato peelings just to try to avoid eating pork. So this was the psychosis and the spiritual reality that we was living through when I was like 18 and 19 years of age. So we wind up in a situation without even realizing it that was a perfect mirror to Danielle. Let's explain this. I had 3 cellies. I was known as Elisha. My first cousin, Kevin, was Kevin X. My old head, Nordy, from North Philadelphia. And my old head, Blow, who was known for blow like in cocaine back in the day. From North Philly. Shout out to the gods and thoughts of peace to my cousin Kevin. But we go to the mess hall, or the so-called child hall back then. This is like 83. And we used to be militarily inclined, if you will. I was known as Brother Minister Elisha Fard Muhammad back then. So the way we had it structured, my cousin would be like, he'll take the front lead. He'll be in the front. I would be behind him, and the 2 other brothers would be behind me. That was our little security apparatus. So we had protocols. So when we come through the line, it's lunchtime. They got a big vat of barbecue pork with a big spoon and ladle in there. And they got next to it a big vat of French fries. And they had some corn, saltpeter, juice inside metal cups. Back then, you get a metal tray, you get your little metal spoon, and you go through the line. All right. Everything really was cool. I really had no bad intent that day. But when I'm coming through the jaw, I see that the inmate, the white boy, and it wasn't a racist thing. It's just, he's a prisoner like the prisoners of war. But he's serving the food, and he's splashing the barbecue pork, onto the French fries. My cousin don't peep it. So I see barbecue pork stuck to some of his French fries. So I'm like, yo, my man, you got to get another joint. You spilling pork all on the fries. This back in the day, white boys from South Philly, shout out. They not no punks. They was some tough dudes. These white boys from South Philly know how to fight. They put work in, mob boys, whatever. You know what I mean? So the white boy, he's bigger than me, stronger than me. That ain't mean nothing in the belly of the beast. We done made so many dudes look young. We put them on a slim fast diet with the teeth of steel. You know what I mean? So he come through the jaw. So I'm like, yo, you splashing pork all on the jaw. You gotta put a lid on that joint, separate that swine from the jaw. So I'm holding the line up. So I keep it moving. So I'm ignoring the police, but here goes the inmate. Fuck out of here, nigga. What? I hop right over to the counter. Boop, boop. I'm on him. It's on. Long story short, he got barbecue sauce, pork all on him, burnt all up, whatever. We go to the hole. Cool. Same thing happened again. Anytime we go through that line, my thing is, y'all ain't serving no damn pork to the fruit when we come through this joint. So we was taking names. So over the course of like 3 years of persecution, trials, and tribulations, they seen we was relentless. Like, no, we're not going to stop. We're going to, it's on every time we see you jokers do that stuff. So it gets so bad, they hold me in a hole again. So I come out this time. So when I come out, they changed the whole game. Now they got it where you physically can't see. They built an actual wall in front of the old joint, so you can't see them serve the food. It's a tiny hole that you go past, and they just slide the tray out, so you don't even get to see them put the food on. I said, "Oh, these devils is vicious." Know what I mean, so looking at King Trump, I lived under King Nebuchadnezzar and King Belshazzar, a whole bunch of them. See what I'm saying? I experienced that stuff for 40 years, so now they got it where you can't see the jump. So it's still on though, know what I mean? But now we got it structured where we like, all right, look, I get with my assistant minister, brother minister Joshua Sadio. I like, look, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get jobs down the kitchen so we can keep an eye on the Johns. So now we go behind enemy lines and we run the trades. So now it's like we got the whole joint clean, everything disinfected, the food is right, everybody happy, the menace is cool. All right, cool. They know the brothers back there. Know what I mean? So we come in, we putting in grievances. Yo, y'all got us serving food. We need hair bonnets and aprons and plastic gloves and face. You know what I mean? You got us serving people food. You know what I mean? You got to have some hygiene with this stuff. So they like, all right, y'all right. So they give us, now we getting stuff in the belly of the beast where we getting humane treatment, if you will. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you still got a lot of mentally deads in there that's just there to get that grub on, take back that swag, sandwiches, make packs, whatever. They just trying to hustle. They like, forget the man. Know what I mean? But I had a strict thing where it was like, nah, we not serving no dirty trades. We definitely ain't serving no swine up in this joint. So what they did, they came up with a system. They said, all right, this is what we going to do. You know what I mean? Because I put in a grievance. They called me in. We argued, debated, and we all compromised. I compromised, they compromised. And the compromise basically was this. They was going to go around to every single cell and give out cards. They come to your cell, pork or no pork, meat or no meat. Season, they had what they call a bland diet. The bland diet came into existence because some people couldn't eat spicy stuff. You know what I mean? The no meat diet came in because I was talking to Phil and Delbert Africa of Move, and they used to treat the Move brothers bad. You know what I mean? And even though they wasn't FOI, the brothers of my brothers, you know what I mean? We were freedom fighters. Shout out to Tokay. You know what I mean? So our thing was like, each one teach one, each one help one. We was a brother to our brother. So we stood up for them like, yo, y'all got to get the Move brothers some food. They vegetarians. They don't eat meat. And, I tried to get them to argue it on a grievance and legally. And they explained to me, nah, bro, man, you don't understand. We already did that. The court shut us down because John Africa basically designed Move where the court was like, it's not a religious movement. It's a back to nature movement. Therefore, they don't have no constitutional protections. So they kept trying to force them to eat the garbage that the king or the warden wanted them to eat. Know what I mean? So it was like, all right, we gonna take these bow ties off and we're gonna do this like we do it in North Philly. I mean, so we went down to the staff dining hall, and we secured. I'm gonna use the word secured. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna say tape, but I'm gonna say the word secure. We secured cases of pears and wheat bread and boxes of whole grain cereals and pure orange juice and apple juice and things of that nature there, and brought it to that hut. Like, yo, every week, just holler. And I mean, we're going to go down there and get y'all, make sure y'all right. You know what I mean? So stuff was happening in the belly of the beast that was upsetting the system. Now, I mean, we had old head legal eagles down the law clinic. Now, I mean, like Major Tillery. Now, I mean, like General Nasheed. No, they were sharp in law. Know what I mean? So they would sue the system. And the court's like, yo, this joint is inhumane than a mug down here. Y'all got to clean this crap up. Now, I mean, so we understood our human rights. We wasn't never fighting for civil rights. We was fighting for human rights. Now, I mean, and our position was we're willing to live, build, kill, and die for this. You see what I'm saying? So, we was doing what we had to do for survival's sake. Now, out of that struggle, it was a long and protracted struggle. So when I read the Bible and say it took them 3 years, it's like 83, 84, 85, 80. Yeah, I would say it took like 4 or 5 years. I mean, but the good thing was we got everything we fought for. Long story short. Now, I mean, so they came around and they gave out what they call, they would put a no pork sign on top of your door. So they know the person in this hut don't bring no swine to this cell, and they give you a no pork diet card. You know what I mean? They had the no pork diet card, the no meat diet card. So the vegans or the vegetarians could just show the card at the window and they'd be like, no meat. And they'll put just the French fries, vegetables, fruit on your tray. You keep it moving. Bland diet. They put the no spicy foods. You know what I mean? You just get the plain old. They had a lot of tofu and stuff like that. You got the no pork card. The compromise was some days, but you wouldn't get no swine, but you might get a bunch of, like, they may say they had something like pork hot dogs and beans. They'll just give you the navy beans. They'll just give you some white bread. They'll just give you the vegetables, the fruit. And that was kind of hard, but it was a separate fight for that. And eventually what they started doing was giving out, like, cups of peanut butter, little paper cups of peanut butter, or they'll give you a soybean burger, or what we call a hockey puck. I mean, so if you didn't eat pork, you had an option. You could just eat commissary, buy a swag. If you couldn't afford it, you could still go down there and get you a peanut butter sandwich, get you a hockey puck or a soybean burger, or you could still eat some vegetables or eat some fruit. But ain't no swine was going to get mixed into your joint because they had that as a separate joint. So to be on a different table for the fruit. Our food was put on a separate metal cart. You know what I mean? And that's how the gods came through there, and we didn't have to eat the flesh of the swine. Now, I mean, and the Bible talks about the king's wine. Now, I mean, but that jailhouse wine used to, like, psychologically kill brothers. It used to, like, tear their liver up. It used to have brothers, you in the belly of the beast, your wife, your girl, your baby mama out in the street. Some brothers get to drinking that grapefruit juice wine. I mean, you put that raw grapefruit in the bucket or the bin, and you put that sugar in there with the yeast or some bread, and you wrap that thing up real tight. That thing get hot and heat up and cook up, and that's then you got some strong wine. I mean, so my thing was like, restrict the laws of Islam is our success. The gods, we don't drink the king's wine. We don't drink that grapefruit. We don't drink the hooch. Now, I mean, a lot of men lost their lives getting drunk and stabbing each other up 30, 50 times off of that jailhouse wine. Now, I mean, so that what you read in these scriptures of this Bible, y'all look at it on some spooky stuff like it happened 2,000 and 3,000 years ago. But actually, this stuff going on right now in 2025 for brothers and sisters in the belly of the beast, for brothers and sisters living in the ghettos all over the wilderness of North America. Know what I mean? So Danielle, the thing was like, they were youth that had what the Bible says in Daniel chapter 1, verse number 4, it says, they were to be youths without any defect, of good appearance, endowed with wisdom, knowledge, and discernment. We as conscious, sentient beings, we were student followers of the life-giving teachers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We was eating one meal a day, one meal a day, and exercising, and we were studying our lessons, which were our blessings, and we was reading anything we could get our hands on pertaining to the life-giving teachers of the Honorable Elijah. It could be an old Muhammad speech from 1963. It could be a copy of part of the messenger books. It could be one book of the messenger. We in the yard in a circle reading a chapter from that one book. And we passing around page to page, brothers taking turns reading, brothers learning how to read and write and calculate in the belly of the beast, going to school and getting that GED, going to college, getting that master's and learning business. And, so all these things that, you read about, we live that stuff. I mean, so psychologically it's a whole different thing. And, like Danielle and them, we had the good appearance because we was eating right. So we was glowing. We was healthy. We was clean. We was pure. We had knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You see what I'm saying? But we also had before us the legacy of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, where he suffered in the belly of the beast. He was humble. He was righteous. The fruit back in his time, when they was in the belly, the warden laughed at him. Our thing was like, man, we going to make the warden cry. We going to make these devils cry. You see what I'm saying? So we didn't have that humble spirit. I mean, we had a spirit of rebellion or fearlessness. Now, I mean, we had dominant thoughts, dominant ideas, dominant and militant actions and deeds. We was move out boys. See what I'm saying? That's the reality of that thing. Now, I mean, so Danielle and them, they ate that pulse bean or that navy bean. So we love them navy beans. We ate to live and not to die. You see what I'm saying? But we knew that the blood of the righteous was spilled for generations through slavery, suffering, and death. Our thing was like, them days is over. The devil time is up by 1985. I mean, so we wasn't playing no more games with these jokers. Know what I mean? And they wasn't playing no more games with us. You see what I'm saying? And there was countless battles. We won most, lost some. See what I'm saying? We lost some soldiers. Now, I mean, we went to the hole. We suffered setbacks. You're definitely not. You stand up talking about your father, Elijah Muhammad. You're not getting the benefits and the zooms and zams and privileges that the inmates get. See what I'm saying? You might not get parole. You might not live. You know what I'm saying? That's just the reality of the situation. Now, I mean, and it's like that to this very day for our brothers and sisters in the belly of the beast. Now, I mean, in Daniel chapter 1, verse number 20, it tells us, in every matter required wisdom and understanding that the king would ask them about, he found them 10 times better than all the magic practicing priests and the conjurers in his entire realm. I mean, see, the warden used to give religious services out. So you had people like back then, this is the 80s. Dr. York was real strong and big in West Philly back in the day. In the belly of the beast, they had a lot of literature and services. Imam Warfdeen Muhammad, down Elijah Muhammad's son, basically, they was the number one Muslims in Holmesburg. It wasn't like a bunch of Sunni Muslims like it is nowadays. Back then, everybody were Bilalians. They were deep, you know what I mean? You had just a few fruit. I mean, it might have been like 25, a max of 50 of us back in the early 80s. Now, I mean, and that thing was like, oh, y'all trying to bring back the old teachings. So they didn't want us to bring back the life-giving teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But our life, our death, and our sacrifices was all for Allah. We put that flag up and we brought back the life-giving teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and took over every camp we went to, we took it over. Every last one. Blood, sweat, and tears. You see what I'm saying? That's the reality of how that struggle was. Now, I mean, so, as it says in Daniel chapter 1, verse 20, in every matter requiring wisdom and understanding that the king would ask them about, he found them 10 times better than all the magic practicing priests and the conjurer. Meaning that we literally knew the sciences of life. I mean, we mastered the lessons, mastered how to live. I mean, so it was like them brothers teaching that mystery God, we like, man, the black man is God, the white man is the devil. That's how we was teaching. You know what I mean? And, they could not contend with us. We have all kind of debates on that stuff, all kind of battles on that principle. You know what I mean? But we kept the flag up. You know what I mean? And to this day, I'm happy to say that the flag of Islam is alive, well, and in power. You know what I mean? And I personally find it rather humorous how the king in Daniel chapter 1, he wanted Daniel and the brothers or the FOIs with Daniel that he gave slave names to, he wanted them to serve in the king's court. So what happened in real life in our situation was, because like they had different jobs. Like they gave us jobs what they call linemen. That they'd be like, all right, your job is to serve this, your job is to serve that, your job is to serve. We had certain standards. Like we would never serve pork. As student files out, we can't smell it cooking. We're not going to serve it to nobody. We're not serving pork to white people or none of that. Know what I mean? If a brother be like, oh, you ain't going to eat that chicken, you ain't going to eat that beef hot dog. You know what I mean? Nah, you can get that. Now I mean, we'll trade it off, for some vegetables or something. But if somebody be like, yo, you ain't gonna eat the pork, can I get your pork? Nah, you can't get my swine. I ain't gonna do that to you. I mean, even the white inmates, nah, we not giving no pork to the white boys either. Ain't nobody, we not giving pork. So everybody knew, don't ask the fruit for that pork. And they not giving out no pork chops, no pork ribs, no pork sloppy joes, none of that kind of stuff. It's not happening. You're not getting no pork bacon from us. I mean, it's like we had too much respect for self to even give our enemies some swine. I mean, but they seen that it was a huge difference in the health of the prison. High blood pressure start going down, the high cholesterol, prisoners dying from strokes and heart attacks, it start declining. Because, I mean, we teaching people how to eat to live. They see us eating inside the belly beast, but we shining. We healthier than a mug. They like, yo, what the heck is y'all doing? Like, okay. They go to that FOI class. They exercise. They like a college. They got rosters with classes on it. They real organized over there. So everybody start biting our style. Same thing out here now. People bite your style. You know how the plagiarism is the norm. Now I mean, it's like hip hop or YouTube in this day and time. They peep your game and they gonna try to take it to another level. Just bite your style. That's all in it. That's cool. Now I mean, the messenger told us the highest form. He said imitation is the highest form of flattery. Now I mean, so it's not from us, it's from God himself in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praises are due forever. Know what I mean? But one of the things was we kept that line moving, we kept it efficient, we kept it clean, we kept it hygienic, we kept it healthy. Know what I mean? We kept it humane. So they was like, okay, the inmates that's serving the guard food is serving them pork and they come in, they got dirty fingernails, dirty shoes, they work in the kitchen, so the same dirty clothes, they wearing the same stuff. So they like, damn, this is crazy. Let's get those FOIs, get the Supreme Angels to work in the staff dining hall. I mean, so they come to me. Master, we need y'all to work in the staff dining hall. So I'm looking at them motherfucking staff down. Y'all crazy the mother. Like y'all would eat our hand just like what if we spit in your food? They like, nah. We know that y'all righteous. Y'all not gonna do nothing like that, dude. But y'all, the brothers is neat, the brothers is clean, the brothers are hygienic. Now I mean, I was like, all right, tell you what. We get the brothers to come, we get the brothers coming in, but we get our choice of healthy foods that we want to eat, and we get the healthy foods we want to take back to the block for our comrades. It's like, okay, we could do that. And we get top pay. We ain't going to be y'all slaves up in that joint. Hey, oh, no, all right, cool. So now, they see us all neat and everything like that there. So it's like a whole clean thing. Now, I mean, I remember when they see us. The messenger told us, he put in Muhammad Speaks how to make, get, and keep a job. Know what I mean? And he told us, he said, don't do half a day's work for a whole day's pay. So we was hard workers and everything like that there. And because it was a lot of old enemy guards so that was like, oh hell no, I'm not eating nothing from that boy gonna poison me. So they were scared of us. So it's like, listen, we just gonna fade back. Let us go back to the regular joint, you know what I mean, and serve the men. So they like, all right, cool. So we go back to the regular line. By this time, it's like 1985. So me and Brother Minister Josh, Assistant Prime Minister Josh, we working the line. Now, by this time, we got black guards running everything. So the black guard, real nice dude. I forgot his name. I think Mr. Johnson, real nice brother, from down south somewhere, But he was like, do whatever them white folks tell him to do. So his thing was keep that line moving. So they serving roast beef. Now in the belly of the beast, when it comes to big meats, that what they do, like if it's Thanksgiving or Sunday, every Sunday there's a dainty meat. Like on Sunday they serve like roast beef. They had a baked potatoes, and what they do, they cook all these giant roast beefs in the ovens, and then they gotta slice them up, and then after they carve them all up, they gotta then take white bread and they put the white bread down and put the turkey on top of the white bread and stack the sandwiches up on top of each other like that. And then at chow time, they have all these bins of roast beef sandwiches, and they take the job is to take the roast beef sandwich off the tray, put it on a prisoner tray. Somebody else pour some gravy on there. Somebody else put the baked potato on there. Somebody else put some string beans on there, and they serve that's a made tray right there, and they slide it through the little window because we didn't kick butt and took names for so many years. They got it now where the prisoners can't see us make the food. Cool. So we still on point back this joint. Like, we still not going to let them serve no swine. We still not going to let them serve no filth. Because it was like sometimes it'd be like they'd serve powdered eggs, and rats would get inside the powdered eggs and lay babies in it. And they'd be like, oh, it's rats in the damn jar. That's just little babies. They just scrape them out and go ahead and just use the rest of the powder. We're not serving no powdered eggs that rats was in. You trip, throw all the shit in the trash. Oh, you ain't throwing nothing in the trash. Boop, boop, bang, boom. We going to hold whatever. So this day, me and Josh in the joint, and they had the roast beef sitting out so long, flies kept going on the roast beef. In the back, we don't work back in the kitchen. We're talking the line. The kitchen work is some kind of way. They got all this cut up roast beef, and there's flies all back there. The flies landing on the meat, laying maggots on the meat. So the next day, the time is lunchtime. So now this afternoon, that meat been sitting outside for like 12, 18 hours or something. Now, we take the sandwich. They want us to put gravy on the joint. So my job is to put the gravy on the joint. So I'm looking at the sandwich. I'm like, what the heck is that? It's maggots on the roast beef. I'm like, stop the line. Ho. It's maggots up on this joint. So the dude like, let me say it. I was like, it's worms up on this joint. Yeah, I'll throw it in the trash. All right, keep the line moving. Keep the line? No, we ain't serving none of this. What you mean we're not serving none of this? It's maggots up in this shit, man. Throw this joint in the trash. We're not throwing nothing in the trash, this, that. He like, keep the line moving. I'm telling him, don't nobody move. Keep the line. So now there's a standoff. So it's me and Josh. We the only two FOIs there. Everybody else is like Orthodox Muslims, Christians, mentally dead. So they ain't trying to really rock the boat. I get it. But I'm like, my principles, our code of conduct, our ethics, like, nah, we ain't nobody serving nothing. Know what I mean? So he like, all right. Anybody that don't serve these trades, you're going to get fired. I look at Josh, I ain't even got to say nothing. He look at me, we ain't even got to talk. We mentally use telepathy. We out. We pop the armbands off. We quit. We out of here. So we leave. We go out in the chow hall amongst the men like, yo, brothers, it's maggots on this food. Know what I mean? So they like, oh, y'all trying to incite a riot. But sad to say, the men was like, ain't no maggots on mine. And they eating this stuff. So I'm like, yo, what can you do? You know what I mean? So when I read Danielle, I mean, I get a different perspective on Danielle. When I read How to Eat to Live, book 1 and 2, 1967 and 1972, and I hear Messenger Elijah Muhammad explain how hard it was for the brothers and sisters in the belly of the beast, and how the warden used to laugh at the believers, for trying to avoid eating pork. I get it. It resonates with my soul. The struggle continues, fam.